So Peter, according to the tradition at TrustCon here, right, we'd love for you to answer a question, just one line and one line only, because we wouldn't want to take more of your time. How has being the head of solution engineering helped you solve real life problems? Because by now, your mind must be working like an algorithm and you come up with like every permutation and combination of solutions. So
Yeah.
how has that helped?
There's only one uh, principle that I would have in my entire solution engineering is genuinely adding value to the CXO people.
Wow.
That's being very genuine is the one. I have been on the pre-sales in India like for 25 years. So genuine, we have to be genuine. It is not just my interest, it is making them successful.
My God, genuineness and authenticity is how we're going to start the session. Sir, stage is all yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm Caesar. I'm just standing between us and the lunch. There's an amazing lunch outside. It's so nice to see after 2 years in real time. Okay, I think that's something that we have been missing. We have been behind the zoo for many days, which is called Zoom. Now we are so happy to see every one of us. After 2.5 years, there's something happened good for me. This morning, actually, when I actually, after 2 years, I started putting my suit. I felt that, I lost my waistline by maybe half an inch or 1 inch. Maybe that's a good thing that has happened. So I was talking to my friend, colleague. I said, hey, this had happened to me. Then he asked me, what did you do? I said, hey, I don't drink beer, now I drink wine. So when I came to the place here, I looked at the phone, I went to the Google. So it was all saying about drinking wine actually brings down the waistline. I don't know how does the whole system knows. Okay, now Confluent, it's all about setting a data in motion to win in the digital economy. Before I get into the particular theme, I wanted to give you a small introduction about Confluent as an organization. So 2014, it was founded by 3 people. One is by Jay Krebs, Neha Nedulkar. Interestingly, she is from Pune. And the other person is Joan Rao. So those are the 3 people actually founded this company from 2014. So it's going to be like 8 years. It went to the IPO a couple of years back. The whole mission of this company is to set the data in motion. I don't know how many of you, you have been listening to the previous session. More than 1,500 times, people were using the word data. Data, data, data. You really have to listen from me another 500 times about this particular data. The only difference that I would make is our data, the mission is to set the data in motion. We have been doing all our business in our data at the rest, but now because of the customers, we are putting all the data in the motion. Let me give you a small example to you. How does the data in motion is so relevant into every one of our life today? Let me take my own family. I have a daughter, 20 years old. She has got a habit of, on Friday evening, she picks up the phone, orders of food through the popular applications, who is our customer, and uses my credit card to get the PIN, OTP, and then she's so paranoid about the order getting picked up, constantly calling, and making sure that when the food is going to get delivered into her home within 15 minutes. If it doesn't come, she's so paranoid about it. It's just not only to my family, I'm sure your children also would be there. The new consumers that we have in today, they want things, everything in the real-time basis. Okay, so this is a very common figure. So Meru caps, which is my favorite in Mumbai, I'm a bit color blind. I still don't know. I was thinking what color could be. All I could see is the blue, but it is not a blue anyway. So this was the one which was there before. And every one of us went into a place, picked up certain food, and then everything was on the bank was giving a check. I don't know how many of us use a checkbook. But software has completely changed everything. When you come out of the airport, you would use an app. Uber or something else, which is again our customer, you would look for a cab which is free. There is so much of complexity which is running behind your screen. Identifying the cab, who is close to you, accepting it, then tracking the whole thing. It's a real time that is happening. The data is in motion. The second one, ordering something on your mobile app. Instamart, which is used by my family like so extensively. I'm sure that would happen during our pandemic. Things that have to happen in the real time. And then the mobile app for doing every transactions. The software has changed every aspect of our life. So today, software is the business. Previously, the old way was everything was slow. You had a batch process. Now today, fast. I think all my speakers, the respected, esteemed speakers, spoke about getting things instantaneously. The batch processing is the old history. If anybody says that, hey, I have to do a batch processing, they would say, are you in the Stone Age? You want things on the real-time basis. Siloed. And today, everything has been connected. That's the world that is expecting. So today, the people are moved from the different business to the software. There are more than 100 unicorns that we have in India. The software is the one which actually brings them together. You look at this. It's so common in our home today. Today, India, the number of people who are getting into Netflix is moving tremendously than any other country in the world. High level of personalization, real time, rendering to every one of your screen is actually being done by Apache Kafka, which is sitting at the back end, which is again uses our Confluent cloud. So again, without compromising on delivering a very personalized, a rich front-end customer experience. Now, this is again very important use case today. Every time that we try to do a transactions, you instantaneously should know, hey, 10,000 rupees has been detected for so-and-so. If you don't get a response, you become nowadays a bit concerned. Hey, what's happening? Have you taken the money? You need that happening instantaneously. The real-time basis that you need happen. Similarly, when you order some food, hey, your order is ready to pick up, or your person is outside. So which means that there is a huge amount of data that has to be processed at the back and deliver everything on the real-time basis. Now, the new use cases, which is again the demand which is coming from the Gen Zs. I look at them as one of the people that I learned from how they are behaving, their whole buying patterns, you would have in your own family. They're completely different, very different. They want things, everything on the instant reactions, all the time, in real time. Which means that your old way of putting the data at rest at a different place will not help you to deliver a great experience or anything else that you would do in the front end. That's what we are talking about, putting the data in motion. Data, data, data. Just the data alone will not make anything. You need to get those things a meaningful insight in the real-time basis. In some organization, if you have got a data, huge amount of data, that's a new currency for the business successes. Now, fundamental assumption of every database is always at the rest. You know, we talked about the Oracle database or anything that I would say, it's all about set of boxes sitting there, you're storing the data out there. You know, you would make actually simple, static, real-time queries, and you have multiple databases sitting across the organizations, and then you would do a daily processing or actually a batch processing. You know, this is how we actually built all our applications before. Just to give you back, the genesis of the Apache Kafka actually started from 2011. These three of them were actually working as software engineers in LinkedIn as an organization. When they saw things are happening, so many people coming and updating, you need those things at the real time. That's why they actually started the whole Apache Kafka, then the whole project came. So putting the data at rest is just no use. You need to put them into real streaming process. Data at rest, your cloud, multi-cloud, hybrid, on-prem, line of business, different geo, different factory, it creates so much of complexity in each of the organization. Look at yourself, how complex your business is growing now, and how many cloud vendors that you're talking to. And there are somebody who was telling, now with the multi-cloud, you also need to monitor how much of consumption each one of them are being spent, because otherwise you may have to sell your property to pay off. I've seen some of those companies that have happened. Okay? So this is creating so much of complexity in the real world. What we are suggesting is that from giant mess to a central nerve system of the Confluent cloud. I don't know if this is real. If you look at the logo of the Confluent, it's basically the nerve system which is in our body, which sends messages from the brain to the entire system, which is very important. Anything that happens happens on the real time. Let's say if I try to put this on, automatically my hand will go and pick it up, because the brain actually does that. Similarly, things happen as a kind of on the real time. So we are telling that, and we see that our customers actually use Confluent Cloud as a central nerve system, talking to the multiple systems, the source system at the back, and delivering data in the real sense to their business processes. So there's a new paradigm that has come in the data in motion. So I always believe necessity is the mother of all inventions. When you have a problem, then people actually invent something new, which is actually adding a value to you. Now, Confluent Cloud actually helps you to process the data in the real-time basis and deliver, whether it is a rich front-end experience or a real-time offers or real-time tracking your cab, where is he, or making sure that there is no anti-money laundering, or making sure that the SIM optimization is happening. There are so many thousands of use cases people are using our Confluent Cloud to do things. Whenever you want to do something that in the real time, you really need to look at as the Confluent Cloud. Just take a Citibank, one of the most popular bank in the world. I'm sure you would know how complex it is. We need to shift our thinking from everything at rest to everything in motion. My humble request to all the CXOs who are the central nerve system in your organization have to look at, hey, what is this all about, this the data in motion? How can I add value to my line of business in the real-time basis? Now, how do you set the data in motion? The rise of data in motion, which is the Apache Kafka. So 70% of the Fortune 500 companies use Apache Kafka to run their business, which is like, for example, 10 out of 10, the travel and industry, finance and banking, the most highest adopter of our Kafka applications. Insurance companies, I think there are respected, CTO, he was there actually, he was talking about those strong use cases that they have, which is again, 10 out of 10 global insurance companies use our Kafka. Telecom, so across all the industry. The other industry that they use Apache Kafka is the government. So basically, if you look at, Confluent empowers multiple strong business use cases, whether it is from the data structure use cases or from the business applications. A lot of automobile companies, when they have to read quite a bit of events that are coming from various IoT sensors, and then process it in real time and take a decision, how does the whole autonomous car works, or where do you have to do, it's all becoming, it can be only done by the Confluent Cloud. Similarly, you're talking about microservice and event sourcing. So I always believe that everything that happens in the world is an event. Whether I move from here, or car move from one place to the other place, you do transactions, it's all an event. The event throws out data. The data provides certain insight unless and until it is actually being done on the real-time basis. There are multiple strong business use cases that we see across the industries, whether it is retail, healthcare, when you're talking about connecting multiple data sources, and multiple devices and ensure that you get the real-time insight into what's happening, the proactive patient's care. Now, because now there are so many IoT and machines are being out there, you really need to do things in the real-time basis. And then we talk about the transportations, advanced navigations, fleet management. How do you track all your trucks that is out there? You know, and are they in the right directions? How can I actually put them on the right route for the cost optimization? That's where coming into the Confluent Cloud solutions. Again, today the Confluent Cloud is actually becoming the central nerve system of the modern enterprise. If you think data is the foundation of any business, then the data has to be real. And they're sending the real data across the various business LOB, only Confluent Cloud can do that. So everything that goes to that, delivering a real-time data, decision, intelligence, or anything out of the platform and the cloud. So this is the new data infrastructure category. So these are some of those various data infrastructure that you would have, whether it is Snowflake or Oracle or IBM. So these are the various, your data infrastructure, and Confluent is actually part of the data infrastructure layer, which provides data streaming for the real time. Okay, so I just want to give you some of those very strong examples of the Walmart. So they're talking about, it actually processes billions of transactions, events per day. Imagine that, the Walmart it's actually part of every American out there. They do a lot of shopping, the number of events that come. So for someone to have a very ubiquitous experience on the mobile, so Confluent Cloud actually empowers them. Kafka and Confluent are the backbone of our digital omni-channel transformations. So multiple inventory, multiple data source system, bring them all together on the real-time basis, delivering an amazing wow customer experience. Bosch, which is I really love, one of the very good experience because of the manufacturing, connected from data from plants, again dealers and tool owners through the IoT devices, and then deriving certain intelligence on the real-time basis. That's again through our Confluent Cloud. Again, Grab, which is again a very famous Grab, like the way that we have in India. It's quite popular in Singapore, in Southeast Asia. They are able to detect some of those credit card fraud, which I think a lot of those fraud that happens in Southeast Asia. So they are able to bring down by 1.6%, something like that, which was a huge savings for the Grab. Currently, I am working on various customers in Malaysia and Indonesia for anti-money laundering. So there's a lot of those people are seeing that's happening. We are looking at how Confluent can actually help them out. Just putting the pieces to India, So we have been in India for 18 months. The field sales have been there. Interestingly, we have an India Engineering Center based out of Bangalore with 400 people, which is the second biggest, the development center, which is outside of the United States. So much of innovations are happening from here. 40 plus enterprise customers. Most of these customers are part and parcel of your life, whether you order your cab, or you do your banking, or do your UPI, or set on your TV in front. They're all actually using our Confluent Cloud to deliver certain things, certain experience on the real-time basis. The reason I'm not able to disclose the name because of the NDA that we have, but please let us know. We could always have a discussion with you and explain you some of those use cases, how we are helping some of those large customers in India. 100+% year-on-year growth because they see a large value in our India. Because if you look at 850 million people are using internet. And I think we are the third biggest data generating company in the world. After United States and China, we are creating so much of data, which means the traffic is huge. The digital India has made so much of acceleration for the people to adopt into the internet, buying things, educations. Again, I can take a lot of examples. So we are helping so many of those industries like BFSI, digital natives that we have in India, pretty much most of them use our platform, telecom and media, distribution, and the automotive. Okay, now, how do you set this faster in your organizations? There are three models. One is cloud native, the complete and everywhere. So one is going through the complete cloud native, which is secure and reliable. I think the panelists talked about how important it is to have your data safe and secure with all the rules and everything applied. So we are very particular about that. Multi-tenant, API-driven organization, infinite level of storage, role-based access so that you know who can access, read, what, and write, and highly elastic. So it gives you power of, you don't have to worry about that. And we have 99.99 availability. No one has got that. And it is a complete, whether it's a data compatibility connectors, we have more than 150 connectors through which we can actually bring in the data from multiple sources into into our Confluent cloud, and then do a processing, and then put the data onto the real-time motions. So how do I start? I think this is a question that many of the CIOs, the CXO people would have. You can't go and rip and replace your existing one. The best way to start is experiment early interest. You could go out into our cloud.confluent.io. I think I can check the right URL. Go there and sign up, and you get around $500 of credit. You can actually start building it around. This is how many of the customers do that. They take particular problem and see how the Confluent cloud can be applied. Then they see an identity project, maybe a claim insurance. How do I look at managing the claim insurance on the real time in my Confluent cloud? You take it. And then they look at mission-critical applications. And then they look at the LOB. Hey, this is a very important LOB in my organization. I need things in the real time. How can I use the Confluent cloud? They would use it. And they see a value, then they move towards Confluent cloud as a central nerve system in the organization. Well predicted, tested, so by the time CIOs and CXOs will know that, okay, this is a place that I can invest. So it's a huge, beautiful path for somebody to go and sign up, test it, and go. So it has been very successfully proven. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you very much. I think I am on time.